waking up from a beautiful sleep. And there's some things I want to say. Speak them, share them, so that all of us know it, remember it. That is, well, I can share my own experience. For so long, I was caught up because I didn't know how to live any other place than my mind and my penis. So I was constantly thinking and trying to figure things out rationally and see how I could, using a little bit of my heart, I had this desire. I know I have this innate desire to bring goodness to the world. And then because that heart desire was only powering my mind, my penis, because I didn't know how to breathe, to facilitate flow in all the parts of my body and really be present in other parts of me, I went totally crazy trying to figure out how to save the world, how to be a good person, how to feel good, how to not be overwhelmed by the thoughts of the things that I saw going on around me and hearing about the things going on, the things that seem so bad. And of course they are on a certain level, but it is not badness that helps you to grow. It is not badness that helps you to know happiness in this present moment. So why should any of us focus on it? Because like attracts like, and focusing on that is only living that. So I've been breathing, and I have things to share in other videos, but for now I just want to explain that everything that seems like it's so bad going on in the world is just an illusion, a distraction that some forces are trying to pull on humanity because they want to maintain their power out of fear. But in actuality, they have no power over us, over you, because anything that happens that seems to be bad is no thing really but an illusion, because it's based off of fear. So really, if you want to help the world, the greatest thing you can do is to become grounded in yourself so that you're not floating. Your head is not detached. You're not living in your mind, but you're living in your body, in all the parts of you, because there's so much more to us than we normally think there is. I mean, to breathe and to meditate, you can access all the information, all the memories that your body carries. You can go into different kinds of states and access different information, especially during sleep. There's so much that you can do, but realize that all of the things you see on TV, all of the things that you hear in school, most schools, all of the things that you look at on your iPad or your iPod, your iPhone, or your computer, if they're not things that are really conscious that you have chosen to engage in, and you're just doing it out of some kind of covering up or something. For example, I am bored. I don't really know what to do. I don't have so much things to do right now. I have to go to work later, but for now, I'm just gonna look at Facebook and I'm gonna read all of these different things. So, really, I haven't chosen to do anything. I'm just receiving stuff. And more than that, I'm receiving stuff through the mind. And when the mind processes things, it really judges so that there's good and there's bad, there's black and there's white. And then we feel that completely out of touch with our feeling, our heart, so that we're not using the fullness of our power for judgment, for discernment, not judgment, but discernment, because the world is not black and white. There are no lines that clearly separate things. There's always a zone of melding, meshing together, of change. So I'm just really trying to tell you that if you look at the past 100 years and what's been going on, that you can see that there's really a lot of forces of expansion and human goodness and spirituality. You know, we've come a long way from the badness that has been going on, like the wars and the ignorance and all that kind of stuff. And a lot more people are conscious. You know, there is this force because really the world of harmony and balance and living in peace is already here. It is just people that are living in fear. But you are not living in fear. You do not have to, because you can choose. And even if you feel like you're living in fear, you just make a step each day to do something differently. Because when you do something differently, you reprogram. Well, not reprogram, but you write new programs. And the breath, it all starts from the breath. Because the most basic thing is if you don't breathe, you die. The quicker than not eating, quicker than not drinking water. So I'm still, I'm not still. I'm moving, I'm breathing. I have so much to learn. I have so much to discover within myself. So be very focused and conscious about what you're feeding yourself. Are you just feeding the mind, or are you breathing? Look up some look up meditation techniques to be more grounded, to connect more inside yourself, to be more connected to all the parts of your body. Um, what I've learned is true from myself, and I've seen in other people, is that breathing without any pauses, deeply inhaling, deeply exhaling without any pauses. Um, I don't know if that was really deep, but it was deep for me right now in this moment, lying down in this position because the bed is oh so comfy. Oh, it really is a way to go into emotions and memories that the body has, that are in your body, because all of our memories are in our bodies. It's not in our minds. It's not solely in our mind. And ooh, stretch. Oh. To feel more relaxed and grounded and really draw oneself into one's body. That's where I'm at. But the practice, not the idea, but the actual practice is to breathe in deeply through the nose and to hold for a moment or for a few seconds, then to exhale, whether through the nose or through the mouth, and then to hold at the bottom and then do it again. And another technique I've learned is to breathe in for maybe 6 or 7 seconds and then to hold it at the top for a moment, then to breathe out for 7 or 8 seconds at the bottom, to breathe in a little bit shorter than you exhale. So just try these things and experiment, because if you're feeling bad, it's because of thoughts. Unless somebody came and cut off your leg with an axe or something, you're feeling physical pain. But that rarely happens. So if you're feeling physical pain, it's because you're putting yourself in a situation where your body is trying to tell you that you're uncomfortable and it's not right. Like going to work every day and your neck is sore because you're sitting in a chair and you're doing something dumb. So if you don't worry about it, just get grounded. Don't live through the mind, because if you're living through the mind, you're like the people in that, I think it was some Hopi drawing that people keep talking about. I heard a lot of people talk about this Hopi drawing where it was a drawing on a rock where it shows people with their heads disconnected, and then it shows a line, and then the line just stops, like it goes all crazy and then it stops for them. And then there's people who have their heads on their body, and then for them the line goes like that, and then it goes crazy, and then it keeps going on, or it goes up. So the world is really, most people in the world are really imbalanced because they're living through the mind, because there's so many distractions. There's so many things that seem to be, oh my gosh, it's so bad, it's so, it's so this, it's so that. But it's only appearing to be that way because it's the way we've been used to, we've been trained to in school. Sit down, think, look at this book, memorize this, to process the world. But it's really totally different than how somebody living in the Amazon forest would process the world. You know, they have a lot more balance because they're in touch with and use a lot more of their bodies and their organs and themselves in their wholeness. So really think about being whole. Look at the world around you. You see the bad things going on. Ask yourself, why are the bad things going on? Well, if it seems to be so bad and it feels bad in me, then it must be an imbalance. It must be unnatural. Why would an imbalance and something unnatural be coming about? Why would people be living this? Well, people do what their parents have done. They do what they've been trained to do. They become products of their environment because they don't know how to breathe. They don't know how to come into themselves so that they can really bring from within for all to see the uniqueness of these qualities that they have. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts with the most basic, and from there it goes out, and then you breathe it back in, and you can breathe it back out and speak it back out as I'm doing now. So just don't go and watch another video after this unless you have something very specific that you want to do. You have a goal in mind, you know that you're accomplishing. And if you have goals, write them down. And don't look for happiness in the goals, but see what it is that you want to create from within yourself. Starting with the breath so that you're grounded, so that you don't go off and do something crazy like I've done, like go to Detroit and try to save the whole city. Just a little bit every day, even if it doesn't seem to be getting better. Know that it is getting better. It just takes a little bit of time. And just keep breathing. Even if at first it feels like you can't. Know you are getting better. Do not engage in the negativity of the world that your mind sees around you. You'll get there. I'm getting there. And I never thought, well, there were so many times when when the thoughts told me that I wouldn't, but I'm here. I love you. Now, focus on your breathing. Come into yourself and detach from living through the minds and all these things you see, these electronical devices and on these TVs. Kiss. I love you. Now go inside yourself. Breathe and get grounded and really love thyself.